Test 1 2 3, test 1 2 3. Alright guys, thank you so much for tuning back to my channel. This is going to be a part 3, which is an update of my FMS Disco. It's just a modification, a customization of my rig. My goal was to really make it as scale as possible. I've always wanted a D1 RC truck, which I think is the most scale Camel trophy trucks, but the price is too crazy. So this is FMS attempt of trying to make a Disco 110 scale, and I just felt like it was too cartoony, so I wanted to make it more scale looking. The big part about it looking wrong is the shiny Lexan and the lack of details. So in my part 2 you see me panel lining the truck, and now in this part 3 you can see me weathering it and adding a little more details and dirt to it, right, so that it looks more scale. My goal here was not to really dirty up the entire truck, right? The idea was to have dirt at the bottom and then gradually fades away, and the top is clean, right? So this is really to simulate like the start of a journey. So when the Camel Trophy starts and all the cars are clean and new, it's kind of supposed to mimic that, right? At least in my mind, right? I've really done the same for my smaller scale ones as well. Wanted it to look similar, so more dirt at the bottom and then gradually fades up to the top. I have done the windscreen wiper effect as well on my smaller scale truck, and thought I replicate it onto the big truck as well. If I turn here, I'm not sure whether it's showing up on camera, but it has the dirt and then the clean area where the wiper is supposedly able to clean the windscreens. Both front and back has the wiper effects as well, but just ever so slightly, and then on the sides just gradually fade the windows as well. These are all done with a matte Tamiya spray, and again, if you look at my episode 2 or part 2, I've showcased the kind of matte colored spray that I've used for this. I've also in this section I've also added the limb risers, as you can see here. Now those with a keen eye, you could probably see that I've not connected the limb risers to the front bumper. And reason why I didn't do that is couple of things, right? Two main reasons is I don't want it to snag off during the trails. So if I were to go on trails and if I were to hit something, I see all the videos that this will be the first item to disappear and just vanish away when you're running the truck, which I feel is a bit pointless if it's just going to go off in 2 seconds. And I just don't want to keep buying them. So as an alternative, I actually screw them to the body very near to where the light bucket is. This is a Lexan body, so it's soft, right? The strongest bits of this Lexans are where the body is curved, right? So in the curved areas, it's where it's strongest. So you kind of want to drill a small hole at very near to the lights, right? I think that is very strong. So there is a lot of curves in the inside of the light bucket. So this area, the front area, is very strong. So you want to screw it near the lights, okay? The other big reason is because the body pops off. And if you screw it to the bumper, every time you want to take off the body, you have to unhook these limb risers, which I know is going to be pain in the butt for me. I don't want to go through that all the time. I don't want to forget, pop off the body and then rip these things apart. That's just not a hassle that I want to I want to live with, right? So I've gone to the next best thing, which is to just screw it to the Lexan body instead of the bumper. I like it this way, right? As you can see, there are some antenna bits here in the front. There's this tin antenna from D1RC as well, and then there's this plastic shorter one from some generic SCX or whatever brand. So there's two antennas here, and the purpose of that is just to transform this rig into a communications unit. So you can see the communication unit stickers here, and then I've also put in the Land Rover Special Vehicles badge on the back, right? So kind of transforming this into a support unit type truck. And I know a lot of the support units are the D110s. The discos are mostly participants, but I do see that some discos are also converted into like first aid units, communication units, for example. So this one, I've made it a communication unit support, which is why I've added some antennas in the front. And again, I just like this very scale antenna, especially these thin ones. When you're driving around and it's bobbing and just swinging around, I think it looks so nice. Another thing is the rear wheel, the rear spare wheel. You notice that this is an actual rubber wheel. I've removed the foam pad on the inside just to reduce some weight. I want it to be cosmetic here, and then there's a Camel trophy back on top of the wheel, right? So this is an actual working wheel, and I've used the original the FMS rims on the inside of this wheel, and this is using the 98mm tires. So previously I've shared some pictures on Facebook and in the FMS group of this car running on the 98mm tires. I personally feel that this is still a tad bit too small. Now these new tires are 105 tires, and I think this is my sweet spot, and this is what I would recommend all of you guys to use if you want to make it scale looking as well. This is 1.9 bead locks. This is from D1RC. You don't have to buy D1RC rims because these are expensive. You can find something similar, but in a similar Land Rover or old school design. I think this is a Gen 1 design. There's no holes on it. These are all rail screws, by the way, from D1RC. Very detailed. These are all metal rims, and then the tire is 105 diameter, 105mm diameter. I think this is where it sits the nicest. The reason why I don't recommend the 98 is, although it looks kind of nice, it's just a hair too small. And the biggest issue for me is when you sit on this 105 tire, the gap here is too big, right? When you put down the truck, even when you lower the suspension, the gap is still too big. That is the annoying bit for me. Now, if you're talking about the suspension, you can see that there is a brass unit up front. So yes, I have changed the suspension as well. So what I've done is I went for 800mm. Yeah, 800mm. So these are shorter shocks. The original is 100mm from FMS. The 100mm is definitely too long, right? Too long, and I had to modify the original shocks because it was too long. So it's a two-stage shock. I removed the bottom half of the spring, right? So it splits into half. So what I do is remove the bottom half, and it just let the shock droop all the way to the bottom without any kind of suspension, and I think that's not a good way to do it. So I've actually bought different shocks. This is shorter. This is 800mm, and what I did was to use the softest spring rate for 800mm, and now I think it sits properly. Let me just let it sit on a table, right, and show you how it sits. Let me remove this. So now see how much travel. This is a heavy truck, so it kind of sits low now, right? So it's like one finger, and this is slightly more than one finger, right? So you want it, is even now you see that it's still, I think it can be shorter. You could go for like 70 mm, so that you can have more spring rate. I think this is where it originally sits, and it's like 2 fingers, and it's just crazy crazy that it sits so high, so it needs to be lower. So shorter shocks for sure, and that's definitely going to reduce your capability when you're crawling. But hey, I'm not going to bring this to crawl. This is just a trail truck, and it's going to look scale as hell on the on the trails, right? So that's my goal. Yeah. So because of the shorter suspension, right, I've wanted to add more protection in the bottom as well. If you look at the bottom right now, you can see the additional plates here. So you saw the front and back. These are some generic SCX skid plates. You can buy them, I think, off AliExpress and just retrofit them in. You need to do some slight modifications for them to fit, but it's relatively easy to do. And then these are also no-name third-party brands, but it's designed for the FCX10 platform from FMS. So you can get this as well online, I'm pretty sure. So because of the smaller tires, I don't want these bits to be scraped and damaged on the trails too much, which is why I want them to be covered and protected. Again, going to reduce more performance, but again, I'm not going to climb this thing or crazy, right? This is just a trail truck, and the whole goal was to have it look as scaled as possible. And yeah, this is going to look very nice on the truck, on the trail. I've also added if you look at the top, I've also added the fake clips, right? The hood clips. You can find this as well, probably on AliExpress. I buy all my stuff directly from China, Taobao. If you know how to use Taobao, then you know what I mean. But I'm pretty sure you can find similar items off AliExpress. Okay, these are 3D printed boxes as well. Camel trophy stickers on top, so it looks really scaled. It fits just nicely on the grooves. So there's 2 here. These are some Camel trophy bags as well, with the 10 colored ones and 1 black one, which you could buy off AliExpress. These are all the jerry cans that come from FMS, and then it's being strapped down by a strap. Okay, I have a winch here as well, a standing winch, some fire hydrants. I have not used any of the FMS plastic axe or shovels. This is a metal shovel and pre-painted. Again, you can buy this online. And then this is also a 10 scale shovel. I did use the FMS cosmetic bits on the inside. I'm not sure whether I can showcase this. So what I've done is I've put it inside on the back, and I noticed that it's not coming through. It's not coming through very well, right? So I have some luggages on the inside. So you know how there's a space on the back? There are multiple luggages, there's a sleeping bag, and all the shovels, the original shovels that you're supposed to put on top, and the X is all glued on the bed of the back here, right? So it gives something for your eyes to see, right? When you're driving this truck, and if people look at it up close, you can actually see the details inside. And I think that's a very nice touch. It just gives some additional visual items for people to spot if they're up close and they can see it, and I think that's really nice. Again, you know that I've already painted my truck, right? So the inside is all tan color, and it really brings out the interior details of the truck. And I hope it really what really stands out is the driver as well. I have painted the driver. I've added more color to his face, changed the hair color, and also the shirt color, right? So now he's now wearing an orange shirt with a Land Rover sticker. You can see the dashboard. You can see the additional radio unit. You can see the seats as well, now visually more visually stand out, and it's so nice. I think when when you start videoing this thing crawling around, and if you're looking at it up close, there's just a lot more visual candy for your eyes to see, and that's the whole point of scaling these things up, right? Yeah, and if you notice, new license plate, now it's bigger and more scale, 10 scale, which looks more accurate now. This is a Malaysian license plate number with the Camel Trophy style white number plate on the front and then yellow at the back. And yes, I have managed to change it as well. These are all 3D printed, which is a 3D effect as well. A very nice touch. Malaysian license plate again. Okay, so yeah, very nice. Now I wanted to showcase one more additional thing that I did to the car, especially on the lights. And again, I'm just going to turn off the lights here so that you can see better. So as you know, my lights are all separate. I could turn on the front lights without turning on the spotlights. These are now separated. Okay, I could turn on the spotlights as well. These are separated. And if I turn on the headlights, the back lights will come on as well, and also the number plate lights will come on as well, as you can see. And if I throttle and brake, now you notice the third brake light, right? So this is now functioning. You can see the third brake lights. So forward brake, and then reverse, you can see the yellow lights for reverse. I think the third brake light just adds more scale to it, right? Yeah, and I love it. Also, in terms of lighting, you can see now the fender signals are being done up as well, so now it lights up. That is just an SMD. So what I use is the 1206, the 1206 size SMDs. You can fit one inside. You just have to drill out the casing a little bit and then shove in a 1206 size SMD, and it's really bright and nice, right? As you can see, it gives the car really a nice holistic effect. So all the lights work now. Brake and then reverse and then signals both sides, right? And again, the spotlights are separate. So if I go all the way And if I turn it on, you can see it's all separate. I could even flash someone on the trails if I want to, right? Or I can even flash them with the headlights. Okay. Childish, I know, but hey, you're gonna do what you gotta do. And yeah, this is how it looks like at the back. If you turn on the lights, you notice the additional spotlight at the top as well. It's very small, but at least if the car were to roll over and everything, this is well protected by everything else around it. So that is good. I don't want it to rip off. Okay, so this is how it looks. And I think this is where I think this is the kind of end results that I am looking for. I think this is at a point where I think it's a sweet spot. Unless, is there anything else that you guys think can be done to the truck? So I hope this video also helps you if you're looking at tweaking your truck, right? Making it look more scale. FMS has a great product, but again, the problem about FMS products is like the LC80. I think it's a tad bit larger than a true 110 scale, right? And again, if I were to compare this, and if I have a real D1 RC side by side, this truck will be slightly bigger, and I don't know why. It's the case, but again, if I use D1 RC wheels, 1-to-1 wheels, D1 RC is using 98. D1 RC is using 80 mm wheels, right, for their disco, and it just looked too small on this FMS. FMS make their trucks really huge. So if you were to go out and crawl with some other people with a proper 10 scale, I think these trucks will turn up a little bit larger, which is going to be awkward. Just make all your friends' cars look small and your truck looks big. FMS from China, right? So they want to make everything worth your money. And I can't argue with that. I like that, but then again, I feel like it needs some work to make it look scale. And I think at this point, this is my sweet spot, how I think this truck should look like out of the box if FMS were to make additional tweaks, right? So again, my recommendation to you is 1.9 bit locks, 105 diameter tires, and then 800 mm shocks in the front. That would make this truck look physically scale with the wheels that it has, not the ridiculous 120 tire, 120 wheels that it originally has. It looks absolutely ridiculous in those. Get some 110 panelized stickers, the type of stickers that people use for their drift cars or their Tamiya bodies. You can buy those and do the panel lining yourself. There's a whole bunch of like Camel trophy stickers you can get off AliExpress. It's missing the famous Shell logo sticker and a couple bit more here and there, right? I wish there was like a Singapore Airlines sticker. I do have the BF Goodrich sticker as well, which I may or may not put in. Again, I already make this a communications unit sticker. So I have more sponsor stickers, which I'm trying to keep as minimal as possible on the truck, just to make it like as scale as possible, right? So a lot of stuff that you can do, right? As usual, all these rigs, they come off the box, and then it's up to your creativity to kind of make it your own. Get new shocks, tweak your new shocks. I need to tweak mine. This is not tweaked yet, and yeah, I hope that this helps you, right? Get the skid plates as well on the bottom. that really looks nice when you are shooting down low. You take pictures of the bottom of the rig. When you see that skid plate, it's just gonna look very nice. Scale license plate. Well, license plates are given as stickers anyway from FMS. If you like those, then you can utilize those. I just want my truck to be a bit different. Make sure you light up all your light buckets, and again, paint those light buckets inside, right? So this one, I've painted the inside silver because it's originally black. And when it's originally black, it just gets drowned off. It doesn't look correct. For example, these ones have a silver back inside, right? So it stands out as spotlights. And this one, if you don't paint it, it doesn't look right as well. So paint it on the inside and then light it up with LEDs. Now it looks proper, right? That there's a proper light in the back. The headlights are not really painted. You can see that now it's just drowned out. It just looks black in color, which looks wrong. I can't manage to open up the front, right? And probably I just don't want to go through all the trouble. But if I did, I were to paint the insides and then make the light more visible. Similarly, paint the insides of your interior of your truck. That one is easy. You just unscrew a couple of things and then remove the whole interior and paint it tan color, and it looks so nice, right? If you're good with your hands and painting, you can paint up the driver as well, and it looks really nice, right? So this is all my recommendations. I would highly recommend you tweak yours, and I really like to see your work as well, right? If you're working on your truck, please share me your links, make a video and show me your truck. What are the things that you have done and what ideas I can probably steal from you as well. I am very keen towards the smaller scale stuff. This is my first 110 scale ever, and I love the smaller stuff, right? And all my rigs are all at the back, right? Tiny scale 164 drift cars, 124 scale crawlers. They are all in display cabinets, right? So I like my rigs to be visibly scale and nice. So on a good day, 90% of the time it's just shelf queens in a beautiful light up shelf on display, and this is no different. My small scale rig also has a driver on the inside and has the full treatment as well, fully detailed front, back, fully light up as well. All the lights are being done up as well for my small scale truck, and you can see that in my part 2. Okay, so yeah, I hope this helps you. I hope this gives you some inspiration. If you are new to this and you're planning to buy this truck, these are all things that you can do, and this is what it will look like if you invest some time and money onto it. I think FMS has offered a great product, awesome truck. You can put in some love to make it look like a more expensive truck. I would like to get a D1 RC someday, maybe in the future, but I think for now this truck will suffice. I can't wait to take it out for some runs in the year end and do some videos with it. Okay, thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video, I guess. All right, bye bye. Oh yeah, please remember to subscribe and like this channel. Thank you.